So how are we supposed to change these patterns of choosing the wrong person to fall in love with? I mean, we can fall in love with anybody. People fall in love with serial killers. They fall in love with abusers. They fall in love with cheaters. I mean, I doubt very much there was any killing or abuse or cheating going on in the very beginning of the relationship. I mean, after all, again, that's the honeymoon stage, and after that is what counts. After the honeymoon stage, understanding who you are and who they are at that point is going to be the most important, because that's when the change starts to come in. The different person starts to come in. Mostly every relationship starts off really good in the beginning. If you're in one right now, you can see the difference between when you first started dating and up till right now, especially if it's been a lengthy relationship. I find it interesting, when I read about or I hear someone who's fighting with their partner or their husband or wife, and, they say that like, oh, you showed your true colors. You're not the person I fell in love with back in whenever. Have you ever heard that one before? You ever say it before? What I want to suggest is that we're looking at it in the wrong mannerism. We're looking at it all wrong. The person you were likely fighting with at the time when you said you showed your true colors, that was not the same person you met in the very beginning of your relationship. I mean, isn't it obvious? I think what we meant to say is you showed your programmed self in a probably a higher angered voice than that, but it's because we're not in line with that perfect person that showed up once upon a time in the very beginning. And that person that showed up in the beginning, that's when they were showing their true colors. That's when they were showing their true colors. So being in a relationship today means typically dealing with two or more people in a relationship. You don't need to be diagnosed as being bipolar or get accused of it. I mean, Jekyll and Hyde comes to mind. We all have a soul or a spirit, but we also have that ego personality. You got both. You got both of those. But it's busy business building the ego personality, because it was made here on Earth. You programmed it. You created it. You coded it. You made it. And it's this part of us that's heavily favored to build upon when we're here in the game of life. I mean, it's the Darwin theory of the strongest survives. I mean, we don't see any game shows on TV about whose love is the best or who has the strongest love. I mean, this world is built heavily into the service of self. Being selfish is the standard way of life. It's so easy to do. Look, man, we got to play the game of life, first off. And when you do, you got to go to work. You got to, make money and buy things. You crave things. You want to look good, so you buy the best of everything you can with what you have. I mean, it's what we do as people. Interestingly, I see many wealthy people that they have the worst of problems. And, I believe it's because of just money and materialism. I mean, think about it. If you can buy just about anything, go anywhere, do anything, and, you mainly live from just your ego. You end up having to please the ego physically. So the only thing that's left is the spirit when it comes to growth, but the spirit's avoided altogether, so the ego gets all the attention. But it's really discovering the spirit and developing it. I mean, that's what will put someone back on track. We're just too imbalanced in the ego, way imbalanced. We want to root ourselves in Mother Nature to balance out the overgrowth of the ego. I mean, the overgrowth of the ego is the coding that creates who we present to the world as our selfish person, our selfish self, our dark side. Changing the habit patterns in your life is the fastest and it's the most thorough way to move your life in the direction you really want to go in. Habits are nothing more than coding in your brain, patterns that you live out every day. So if you discover the coding and you're able to write it any way you choose, that's life coding. I'm Logan with Brain, Body, Soul. Thanks for watching.
Brain, body, soul. Live life